Thank you.
Do we have communications there in Las Vegas?
We do.
I see some thumbs. What about in the conference room there?
It's LVGA.
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah.
We can't, Governor. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we got you now.
Thank you.
Are you ready to proceed?
We're ready when you are.
All right, let's call to order Nevada Office of Economic Development. Hold on a minute. I'm going to get oriented here. Oh, so, okay. What are we shooting for? What is it? 2 o'clock. So, no, what is the 25th, right?
Yep.
All right. Sorry, everybody. I digress. All right, let's start over. Let's call to order the meeting of GOED scheduled for today, January 25th, 2024 at 1400 hours, which is 2 p.m. Can I have the clerk call the roll? Mel?
Thank you. Governor Joe Lombardo,
Present.
Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony,
Here.
Secretary of State was unable to attend today. Dr. Weldon Havens. Okay. Mr. Josh Reed.
Yes.
Present.
Thank you. Miss Sasha Stevenson.
Present.
Thank you, Sasha. Mr. Jay Barrett. I know you're on here, Jay. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Present.
Thank you, Jay. Ms. Yolanda King.
Present.
Mr. Ray Specht.
Present.
I'll go back to Dr. Weldon Havens. That's okay, Governor. We do have a quorum. I'll call on the non-voting members, however. Ms. Patricia Charlton. Okay. Mr. Chris Sewell.
Present.
Thank you. Superintendent Joan Ebert.
Present.
Dr. Chris Sanchez.
Present.
Thank you. And once again, Governor, we have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Hey, for everybody, just as we proceed forward, if you have a question or comment, please. I can't see very well via the video stream here, so just verbally acknowledge yourself, identify yourself, and go ahead with the question as it presents itself. We'll move on. We'll close item number 1, move on to item number 2, public comment. Persons wishing to provide public comment remotely may access the meeting by telephone or through the Teams link posted on the agenda. Please limit comments to 3 minutes. Public comment will be available at the beginning of the meeting and as the last item on the agenda. The telephone number to call in is 775-321-6111. And the meeting ID number is 912-448-395#. All right. We have any public comment there in Southern Nevada?
Well, yes, Governor, I don't know if you can hear me. This is Weldon Havens. I'm here.
Go ahead, Weldon.
I'm a board member, so I'm just checking in.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Havens. I'll make a note of that.
Ready, thank you.
Governor, I'm seeing no public comment online and I've received none in writing.
Do we have any public comment here? Carson? Seeing none. And you're confirming we don't have anybody calling in on the phone?
Correct, Governor.
All right, we'll close public comment and move to agenda item number 3, approval of November 20th, 2023 board meeting minutes. Do we have any comments by any board members? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion. Everybody speak at once.
Governor, it's Ray Specht on motion.
I move you to for approval of the minute.
Mel, did you hear that?
I did hear Ray Specht had a motion to approve. Did we have a second?
I'll second
Second,
Sasha
Hayden.
Stevenson.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any
Aye.
opposed, nay? Hearing none, motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 4, Executive Director update, Director's report. Mr. Burns.
Thank you, Governor. The Nevada Film Office, a division of GOED, assisted in 3 productions that were released in time for the holidays. They include the television series Obliterated on Netflix, feature films Don't Suck, which was released on streaming platforms and select theaters, and The Family Plan, which was released on Apple TV+. The mission of it,
Did
Nevada.
you say don't suck?
That's what it says. I'm just reading the script.
Oh, for the record, that was Governor Lombardo.
So, I think I hired a consultant to name it. So,
All right,
anyways,
go ahead.
There we go. So the mission of Nevada Apex Accelerator, a division of GOED, is to provide Nevada small businesses with procurement and technical assistance for companies to find governmental procurement opportunities and compete for and win contracts and subcontracts. Back in April, the Nevada Apex Accelerator was a co-event collaborator that provided such opportunities at the Fallon Convention Center at a one-day procurement event hosted by the U.S. Navy. Ken Dubois and Bruce Coney, both of government contractor advisors from Nevada Apex, were on site supporting and conducting presentations titled Nevada Apex Accelerator that was providing an overview about Apex, a no-charge one-on-one counseling service and other services. One of the eventual results of that event was the Pupakina Construction Company, LLC, securing a contract with the United States Navy. The Northeastern Nevada Regional Development Authority has launched Silverlink, a supply chain soft landing program for domestic and international mining services and support companies capitalizing on existing Nevada or Canadian partnerships. GOED is providing financial support and other assistance following the successful trade to Canada, led by Governor Joe Lombardo. We hit the ground running and created the Silverlink program, the next generation supply chain organization for the Silver State. Silverlink is an effort to address supply chain gaps in Nevada's mining industry that would be better serve the needs of both operators and service providers. Silverlink is a one-stop digital repository for data collections, gap analysis, demand recruitment within Nevada's mining industry. Governor Joe Lombardo signed a declaration of understanding with Jasper Moore Sorensen, ambassador to the United States from Denmark, to explore opportunities to work closer on renewable energy projects. One of the first collaborations is targeting the establishment of a renewable energy powered industrial park in Lincoln County that will extract $260 million in investments and create 150 jobs. The future collaborations will also explore opportunities creating similar parks in other areas of Nevada. True Biometrics, a Nevada company, has born out of GOED's Knowledge Fund, is getting national attention. Deep technology company True Biotonics, which is developing plant and soil health products from mixtures of natural biochemistry, was named among the top 10 agri-biotech solution companies for 2023 by renowned Agribusiness Review and made the magazine's cover in December. Earlier this month, 5 startup companies received $100,000 each from the Generator Reno Tahoe Investment Accelerator Program. The funding is a result of GOED's SSBCI Venture Capital Battleborn Growth Accelerated Co-Investment Program. 10 Nevada companies received $100,000 each last year, and we anticipate the Las Vegas Generator will award 5 companies $100,000 each later in this year. We've had a lot of personnel changes within GOED, and I'd like to congratulate Dr. Chris Sanchez, who was appointed to the Director of Business and Industry, as well as Mr. James Hum, who was appointed as Director of the Cannabis Compliance Board. Both of them were outstanding members of our team and great assets to the state as they move on to serve in higher roles, but nonetheless, they will be missed. We're excited to announce that Dorian Stornberger was appointed to the Director of Strategy and Public Policy, while Amanda Flacini was appointed to International Business Development Director. GOED's 5-year comprehensive economic development strategy titled Realizing Nevada's Electric Innovative and Connected Future was updated to include water and health sections. And in March we approved a major abatement application for Tesla. As of January the 11th, the contract was finalized and Tesla is moving forward with their $3.6 billion battery and semi-truck manufacturing facility. And finally, the GOED team relocated to new digs in Southern Nevada. We are the first ones to do so. And I can tell you that it is a palatable upstep in morale and excitement about going to work. So we're very thankful for the new digs. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know who's best to answer, either you or Chris, maybe.
Okay.
Under the GOED's 5-year comprehensive economic development strategy, it was inclusive of water and health sections.
We updated.
Can you elaborate on the water piece? Are you telling them we're situated good for water, or is there an update of new requirements on the closed loop systems per se, or what
It is not an update on requirements. It really gives an updated perspective of where we are with our water resources and how to use them. Water is not as significant as a significant issue in Northern Nevada as in Southern Nevada, but I think in Southern Nevada, we are turning the conversation around to, look, we have water to do what we need to do. We just need to be respectful of the asset, right? But if we promise somebody a gallon of water in 5 years because of the work that SNWA has done, we can promise you that we will have that gallon of water in 5 years.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't promoting not promoting, but the detriment of the water situation was preventing businesses from inquiring.
No, it is.
And what is the description on the health sections?
I'm going to let Mr. Potts address that a little bit for me.
I tried to give it to Chris, but
Well, he moved. He's.
So for the record, Bob Potts, Deputy Director of GOED. So the strategic plan, it's the acronym is SEDS, Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. And in short, we wanted to make sure that our target sectors not only included, the ones that we've talked about with advanced manufacturing technology and manufacturing those, but also to include health and water. So anybody that wanted to, any place in the state wanted to apply for Economic Development Administration grant, they could check that box in the grant application. They can use our study to do that. But it also really builds in both health and the water side of things are really what builds a community and creates an environment and a context for us to do the export-based attraction for these industries that help grow the economy, like manufacturing, for instance. So that was kind of the end game, to add that back in because it's becoming so important that we ramp up our healthcare. And so that's the health and the water side of things. We're also adding a whole new water policy a concept to this as well. So we're taking a deep dive. So GOED will, and the state of Nevada will stand out as the state that really has incorporated a very specific water policy and management strategy going forward in their economic development process.
thank you, Bob.
Sure.
Do we have any other questions from any board members of any of the GOED personnel?
Governor, this is Yolanda.
Go ahead, Yolanda.
On the 5-year comprehensive update, is it on the website? It's a little difficult to find some of the reports on the website. And if not, can you forward that to all the board members for their review?
Is it posted?
It's on the website and we'd be happy to share it.
Is it hard to find on the website?
Well,
About GOED
Yeah.
under state plan.
Did
So
you
we'll
You hear
put
that, Yolanda?
Where is it?
about GOED, and then right under it says state plan.
There's a drop-down menu.
Okay.
But we'll send you guys the link as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Welcome.
She's just used to how bad Clark County's was.
and to kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit, we do have a new website coming on Monday. So
Did you hear that, Yolanda? We have a new website coming Monday.
See that? You like the forward thinking?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Governor, Chris Sanchez for the record. I just want to recognize that the addition of the policy recognition on water in the state plan is really important, because if we don't define that, everybody looking at Nevada will define it for us. And the fact is that we are in a great place for development, but we've got to do a good job of letting them know that. So putting that in the state plans, that was pretty good for.
Yeah, I think so, because Governor Lombardo, for the record, just in my travels, I'm often asked that question. what's the water situation? You know, and I don't want to give them an anecdotal answer to, you know, as a loaded answer. This is, you know, I can refer them to this document. So I think that's the best answer. Anything else?
So Bob, can I jump in?
Go ahead,
real
Bob.
quick? So on that website, on that drop down, there is a separate standalone piece for water and health. So it'll make it easier if you want to see what those updates are, so you don't have to navigate through the 100 and some odd pages of the full report.
And then just to be a little anecdotal, under the Silverlink process, you said I hit the ground running.
We hit the ground running.
We hit the ground running. Just for everybody's clarification, we didn't hit any ground running. We were stuck in a damn office building for 4 days. We were in Canada, so I had to bring that up for GOED's benefit. Just a reminder. Okay, so we will close agenda item number 4, move to 5, and we will discuss rural economic development update via Shari Davis. Ms. Davis?
Great. Thank you so much, Governor. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about rural Nevada. So I am the Director of Rural Economic and Community Development. And there it goes. Okay, so how do we encourage economic and community development in rural Nevada through GOED's Rural Division? 2 of our primary programs, we do many things, but 2 of our primary programs are Community Development Block Grants, CDBG, that one's always a mouthful, and Nevada Main Street. So GOED, we administer the non-entitlement, which is rural towns of less than 50,000 or counties of less than 200,000 CDBG funding for the state of Nevada. So in 2023, we were allocated $2.8 million. And all of these projects must meet one of 3 national program objectives. They must benefit low to moderate income people, prevent or eliminate slum and blight, or meet current urgent community development needs. And all of them must have an economic development impact. 5 awarded projects for 2023. The city of Fallon received funds to create safe ADA compliant sidewalks. Fernley received funding to build a community response and resource center. There'll be childcare in there, education needs, emergency shelter, all sorts of things in that building. The city of Wells, their sidewalks are going to be improved. There's been lots of flooding, so they will have curb, gutter, and sidewalk installed. Esmeralda County, this was a big one. They received funding to create a new address system, allowing emergency vehicles to find callers. Previously, they would call 911, and there was no dedicated real address system, and so they couldn't find them. So some of them would have to wait over half an hour for an ambulance when it should have taken much less. So that one was a big deal. And then money was given to the Nye County Airport fueling system. They were unable to apply for FAA funds. So they had to fix their fuel system first. And then once that is fixed, then they'll be able to receive FAA funds, which is fantastic because that will just, you know, that's a huge return on investment because then we'll be taking federal money instead of just our CDBG funds. So 3 really exciting projects that we have completed. West Wendover, they had a whole downtown development done, and actually I have some new information on this one too. So this assisted with the engineering and construction of the downtown plaza. Previously, they really didn't have a downtown, so they built one, which I think is brilliant. But they really would not have been able to do that without GOED and CDBG's help. $525,000 they received from us originally was leveraged to $7 million. And then we just heard yesterday, it's actually grown to $13 million. So they were able to start that project and then utilize CDBG funding and then look for other funding as well. So I call it Franken funding. So many projects in rural Nevada specifically, it's very hard to get funding for an entire project. So they sort of have to take pieces from everywhere and then put it all together like Frankenstein's monster.
How did it go from 7 to 13?
So I'm not sure exactly where all the other funding came from. I'm sure federal grants, money from the city itself, CDBG funding, and then
The infrastructure bank.
Oh, the infrastructure bank, yes. Thank you.
Percentage for the record, 1.7 million from the infrastructure bank, and then USDA funding
Oh, okay.
made up the rest. That's for a specific project, which is the Wendover Fire Station.
And actually, those are different projects from the
that
downtown.
one.
Yeah. And we did also give them 500,000 towards the firehouse as well. So West Wendover is really growing and they'll have a lot of infrastructure that they would not have had previously. So that is really exciting. And we've got some pictures here, but and that will bring more diverse businesses to downtown as well. So that will help quality of life for the residents. In Nye County, this was actually happened in Tonopah, which is my hometown. I grew up in Tonopah. They had a blighted area of Tonopah. It was a parking lot. There were holes in it. It needed to be repaved. And so they paved it. They added lighting, parking, drainage, seating, landscaping, all sorts of things. And now when I drive past, there's people there on a regular basis sitting on those benches and enjoying the Tonopah's downtown. So it creates a gathering space and then encourages additional economic activity downtown. Wells, this is one of my
Why
favorite.
are you driving past?
Oh, my dad still lives there,
Oh, okay.
so I go visit. And my mom, I know.
Clown Motel.
Oh, boy, I have stories there. So the city of Wells, this is one of my favorite ones. This was also sort of a project they had to cobble together. They received funding from CDBG to purchase the building. They received money from Nevada Gold Mines, which is great because that's some private investment, and also money from the city of Wells. And they purchased a vacant downtown motel and converted it into an incubator space. Right now, they have 5 small businesses in there. One is grown so much they're expanding to a 3rd room, and 3 more spaces have been completed, so they'll be able to bring 3 more businesses in there. The goal is eventually to help them grow and become successful and then be able to move into downtown and fill some of their vacant spaces up downtown. So another very exciting program in Wells. Speaking of Wells, they actually did that through Nevada Main Street, or they did that through Wells Main Street. So Wells Main Street was a sub-grantee for that CDBG funding, and Wells Main Street is part of our Nevada Main Street program. So now I get to segue into our other program in rural Nevada, or for the rural programs area, which is Nevada Main Street. So we partner with Main Street America, which is a national organization with thousands of participating communities and decades of revitalization experience. They focus on downtown revitalization, historic preservation, community development, beautification, and economic vitality. And they offer community-based initiatives with a practical, adaptable framework. So basically, they build it however they want, and then it's able to adjust over time. And it's all about empowering local communities to improve quality of life for residents and also to keep their sense of place. Community. It's building what the community wants, how the community wants to build it, and allowing and empowering them to do so. We have 22 participating communities in Nevada Main Street right now, and we will probably be at 25 by the end of June. I have a couple of more meetings in the next few months. So if you look at this list, D means designated. So that means that Gardnerville has been around for a long time, before the state program actually. And so they have a special designation from the National Main Street Organization, which just means that they do a lot of extra things. White Pine, Tonopah, Wells, Mesquite, and downtown Reno, and now Fernley have an affiliate status. That's what that A means. And that's just, again, like another tier. And then all the other ones are either exploring, so they've started the process with us, or they are just about to fill out the paperwork to start the process with us. So we're really about 75% new. We started with the legislature in 2017, but it really didn't get legs until 2019, and then a lovely pandemic came around. So really, we have grown exponentially in the last 2 years since I started with this, with GOED. So really exciting, all of the different towns that are involved. And I'm actually, go ahead.
Ms. Davis, Yolanda, do you know, on number 12, it says Las Vegas, Jackson Avenue. Where's Jackson Avenue?
That's Jackson Street in West Las Vegas.
Oh, in West Las, okay.
Mhm.
I was thinking more of Fremont Street area. Okay.
So that one is really exciting because they're rebuilding a lot of that. They're putting additional infrastructure, sidewalks, all sorts of things down there. And as soon as that is completed, then their Main Street is going to start. I actually have 3 representatives from Jackson Street coming to the conference that we're having, the national conference in May. So I've got 3 of them, and they actually grew up on that street. Their grandparents had a beauty shop. It's really exciting. So there's a lot of great things about that one specifically. But as you can see, it's rural. I'm the rural person, but we also have urban. We also have Midtown Reno as well.
And what is the E designator?
The E means exploring. So they've signed paperwork with us. They filed to be part of the Nevada Main Street program, but they've got more things to do to get there as we build them up. So we don't just throw them in there right away. We sort of help them grow, and then they get to the point where they're an affiliate, where they have a paid staff and things like that as they move their way up, as we help them to grow. So how do we help them to grow, right? That's the question always. So what do they get from us and from Main Street America? Organizational development services. So we help them grow, we help them organize, we help them understand how to move forward. We have trainings, networking, scholarships, grants, access to the Mainstream America website, biweekly calls, actually. So I talk to them every 2 weeks. We have a Teams meeting where we alternate partner presentations and then as well as community updates. So they let us know what's going on. And then we all talk and talk about what are we having problems with? How can we help? How did you solve this? Well, this is our great success, all of that. Just a great communication tool. And then they get direct support from me. And I can actually talk about that on the next slide too. So we received 700,000.
Sounds like.
We received 700,000 in one-shot funding the last session. So with that funding, we have conducted 2-day strategic planning workshops throughout Nevada, 5 different towns, 19 participating communities in partnership with USED and Dr. Fred Steinman. And we will have those done, I think, in March. And as soon as we get that, then we will open up our competitive grants. So when we were talking to all these communities, none of them had a strategic plan. So how do you say, here is $700,000 in grant funding? What are you going to do with it? We needed them to have a plan. And so we started with the strategic planning workshops, and then we will move to the grants. And so we're very fortunate in that way that we are able to offer that to them and then give them money to actually operationalize that so that they can reach some of these goals that they've set in the planning. And then also what I will be doing with all of them every quarter is I will call them and talk to them and help them work plan and make sure that that strategic plan doesn't sit on a shelf and get dusty, which seems to happen sometimes. So we will ensure that that does not happen. This work cannot be done in silos. It takes strategic, mutually beneficial partnerships, and I'm incredibly proud of the base that we have built when it comes to partners. Travel Nevada, Outdoor Rec, SHPO, SBDC, USDA Rural Development, both senators' offices. They join our calls on a regular basis. USED, BNI, RNDC, Office of Small Business Advocacy, Nevada Arts Council State Parks, BLM, Nevada Rural Housing, WNDD, DOT is now joining, and our regional development authorities. So we have quite the group of partners that all work together to help these rural communities as we go forward. There are things that I can't do, but it's very nice when a partner calls and says, or when a community calls and says, hey, we need this thing, I probably know where to send them because we have such this great group of partners that we've built. And then we also work directly with our divisions within GOED. Most recently with the newly established Office of Entrepreneurship, actually drove back in the snow from Elko this morning because we had a workshop that we worked together with in Elko yesterday. And these are just some pretty pictures of some of the things that they've done: public art, signage, wrapping utility boxes, and these sorts of things. Just kind of create. They're about placemaking, about creating a space where the community wants to come, as well as tourism and all those sorts of things. But it goes far beyond just that as well. So this is Ely. Oh my gosh, they have done an incredible job. They've done murals. You can see downtown's most eligible building, trying to get people to go into those buildings and rent them in their downtown. They've created a space like almost like where you start and there's maps and everything, and then you can go out on your outdoor adventures. Then this hashtag cooler than Vegas to try to get people to come and visit from Las Vegas during the heat. And they've also have facade grants. They've done wayfinding signs. They've done a lot. Tonopah the same. They have created.
What was our senator doing there?
Oh. That's Caroline McIntosh.
Oh, it looks like Jackie Rose.
It does. She does. Yep, that's Caroline McIntosh. So in Tonopah, lots of murals. They've done a lot of other projects as well, specifically the facade grants. So basically what they do is local businesses will apply for a grant, and then they have a 50-50. So they're able to replace windows, create new signage, paint, all of those things that make a business more appealing to both residents and visitors. And this is the Retract Plaza in downtown Reno. So this was it before and this was it after. We certainly weren't able to pay for all of that, but part of the grants from Nevada Main Street were able to at least pay for the lighting. So we traditionally haven't had a huge budget. The 700,000 we're incredibly excited about because I think we'll be able to make it go a long way and really get some return on investment there. And then how do CDBG and Nevada Main Street support GOED's mission? Because here's all these things that we are doing, but how does it support economic development in Nevada? So what we do is we create healthy communities that can support economic development through investing in infrastructure and capital improvements, investing in health and safety, and then providing funding for planning as well, which allows communities to apply for other grant funds, especially for those big projects. Again, that's that Franken funding idea, which is I should trademark that. I can get that up. We support small business creation, attraction, attraction, retention, and expansion. We create communities that potential employees would like to move to and that current residents would actually like to remain in. That is the goal. And then we support community-led growth while retaining a community's identity and sense of place. We call it place keeping. So we have rural Nevada has this incredible, they all have these incredible senses of place, right? You go into these downtowns and they're historic and they're amazing and they are wonderful. But as we have this, unmatched growth, as they have all of these new people moving in and mining coming in and all of these changes, how do we help them navigate that change and still keep their sense of place? And that is something that Nevada Main Street can help with. So that is it. That was I've got more too. I've got lots of, if you have any questions, happy to answer them. And there's my contact information.
Do we have any questions of Ms. Davis from any board members?
Governor, it's Ray Speck, if I may.
Go ahead, Ray.
Thank you. One comment I'd like to make. Well, first, Shari, great job on that presentation. I wish I had your energy level through the whole presentation. Nice job.
Jeremy.
Governor, I wanted to say thank you to you and also to GOED. This is the first time since I've been on the board we've ever seen a presentation as far as economic development efforts in the rural area. And I find it very informative. So one, I wanted to say thank you for presenting that today. The one question I did have, maybe it's for Shari, is on the CDBG grants. You mentioned in the beginning was 2.8 million was available. When I did the quick math on that page, we haven't used up all the funds yet. So the question I have is, how much is still left and how long is that available?
So that funding actually, and I should have included that, part of that funding goes towards paying our staff to do the CDBG work, as well as training and they go in. So basically this last summer, our CDBG staff went to a lot of these communities and pulled out their files and looked at everything and made sure that they were doing everything right, and also hosted training. So that extra money pays salary and then it also pays for training.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Governor Lombardo, for the record, to build off Mr. Speck's comments and the performance and the presentation is, how come it's not in our book, the presentation?
How come it's not in our book?
Presentation.
Oh, how come it wasn't included in all of your stuff?
Yeah, but Mel, you provided a reason why in a pre-briefing, but I didn't think anything in that her presentation was confidential. So why isn't it a public document?
I certainly can share it. Honestly, I was finishing it in a hotel room in Elko last night, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
So
I think we should sell that. And that's why, unless it's considered part of the agenda and public document, I think we're doing ourselves a disservice, especially when we talk about the rural environment. So.
And we can get that posted online, Governor. It's not too late to actually get that posted up as meeting materials, and we will get that round to all the board members.
All right, yeah, that would be really good, because I'm sure there was other people that probably had some important questions to ask. We were hamstringed as a result. But if we can get that online, I think that would be huge. So good job.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Governor, if I could make a comment.
Sure, go ahead.
Tom Burns for the record. As you can tell, Shari has a great passion for the people of rural Nevada. As you travel through rural Nevada, you can't go to one of those great small towns without having your Shari groupies show up and celebrate all that she does and means to them. And she's like the Pied Piper of rural Nevada. So I'd like to thank her for her great work and dedication to those people. Thank you.
Governor, this is Yolanda.
Go ahead, Yolanda.
Shari, also great presentation. One question that I have that typically follows with CDBG funding, are these entities, do they have to, is this on a reimbursement basis where they have to pay for the improvements first and then get reimbursed? Or do we provide some upfront funding for them to get started?
I wish I had a different answer, but it is reimbursement. So they do have to pay it. But we do that fairly quickly. So once they can do it as they go, so they don't have to complete the project fully and then request full reimbursement at the end. They can do it in pieces so that they can refurbish their budgets.
Okay, I mean, anything you can do to help them, because obviously these smaller towns don't have the funding available upfront. So it's good that you reimburse quickly. But yeah, anything that you can do to expedite getting those funds back to them is great. Thank you.
All right, if there's no further questions, I will close agenda item number 5 and move on to 6, Office of Entrepreneurship Update. And I believe it's Ms. McCormick's going to do the presentation today.
Yeah, so if I may, Governor,
Yeah.
the correction, Nancy's actually going to do a presentation. I'm going to miss, I don't believe Kylie is on the call today.
Right.
So Nancy is going to be presenting an update of one of the prior recipients of payments from GOED. Just a quick update.
Isn't that what I said?
No,
I said
it's not,
entrepreneurship.
yeah, it's not entrepreneurship.
So what is it called? What are we doing the presentation on?
Nancy, I'll let you say.
Sure. So for the record, good afternoon, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Director Burns and board members. I'm Nancy McCormick, Vice President of Retention and Expansion for EDAWN. So based on requests by the board to receive updates on how companies which were assisted by the state have performed, I requested time and was invited to provide a brief update on one company I worked with on an expansion in 2017. So that is what I will be talking about in my short presentation.
All right, well, so hang on, Nancy, please. So Mal, is matter of public record and posting. Can we have this meeting? Was it publicly posted? Regionally authority versus the Office of Entrepreneurship?
Oh, it was. Yes. Yes, Governor. I'm not quite sure why that still appears on the agenda, but I know that online and in the majority of the board packets, it should say Regional Development Authority update, but it absolutely was publicly posted like that.
Okay, I'm just going off the book I was provided. So the are we void of the entrepreneurship update then? Are we having that or no?
We are not. No, it is
So I
just.
need to go off the list. Okay, I'll go off Director Burns's agenda and I apologize. Nancy, go ahead.
Sure, I'll continue. Thank you so much. So I'm going to be talking today about Tactical Air Support, which reached out to me recently to provide their great success story, which I offered to share. So I thank you for allowing me the time on the calendar today to highlight their growth and their success. Tactical Air Support is an American defense contractor founded in 2005 with headquarters in Reno at the Stead Airport and provides domestic and international center of excellence level training and advisory services in tactical aviation, which supports U.S. interests and provides meaningful career opportunities. Tactical Air is a unique company in that they specialize in advanced tactical and training support, which includes consulting, air operations training and tactics, and maintenance and logistics support. Their core values are integrity, excellence, respect, reliability, and commitment. The original requirements from the state in 2017 were to maintain operations in Nevada for at least 5 years, create a minimum of 25 new jobs at an average wage of $20.89 or more per hour, and to provide health care coverage meeting or exceeding standards, and to exceed the capital investment expansion threshold of approximately $338,000. And they have achieved all that and more. I'm happy to report that they have hired over 100 employees in Nevada since April of 2018, and that their average wage for the added full-time employees exceeds more than twice their original commitment of $30 per hour. Their current employee base includes a mix of aircraft mechanics, pilots, logisticians, and engineers, in addition to other operations support positions. In addition to their investment in the state, in addition to investment in the state has far exceeded their original capital commitment made at that time of $21 million. In their own words from their chief of standards and training, quote, "The very small, humble company that EDAWN met with in 2017 has grown to be an industry leader in advanced tactical training support, We are proud to be based in Northern Nevada, and we could not have succeeded without the support of GOED, the governor, and EDAWN. This concludes my update, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any questions? Ms. McCormick? Oh, you got off easy.
I'm sorry.
You got off easy. No question.
I did. Thank you.
Thank you. You all. You got
Up
another?
next on the agenda before the next agenda item as well.
Where we at?
Unemployment.
I know Bob's up. So.
Oh, Bob's up. Okay.
She's
I'll step
confusing me.
away and come back.
All right, we'll close the agenda item number 6, move to agenda item number 7, unemployment rate update by Mr. Potts.
Thank you, Governor. For the record, Bob Potts, Deputy Director of the Governor's Office of Economic Development. And generally, I would prefer ladies go first, but I guess we should probably follow the agenda. So here we go.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So anyways, this is going to sound a bit like a broken record because the unemployment rate hasn't really changed in the last 27 months. And so we've been pretty much stuck at a 5.4% unemployment rate at the state. And we the numbers that you see in your packet that reflect November, because the December numbers didn't get sent out until last week and didn't make it into the packet in time. But the story hasn't changed. It's 5.4% unemployment rate at the state level. And all of the counties have now, for 27 months, have been below 7%. And we use that 7% threshold to determine whether or not the companies will get reduced abatements. Companies that apply for abatements, they get reduced abatements if it's above 7%. So it's been below 7%, like I said, for 27 months. So all companies that are applying at this stage of the game have to meet the state average wage, capital investment standards, the job counts, the healthcare requirements, the export requirement, 50% have to be sold outside the region of their goods and services, and then the paid family medical leave that went into effect on October 1st. So same news, same story as we had at the last meeting in November, that everybody's got to meet full abatement requirements at 7%. With that, I will end my comments unless you have other questions.
Any questions, any board members of Mr. Potts? You must have done a good job.
Don't volunteer too much.
All right, we will close agenda item number 7, move for agenda item number 8 for possible action. Abatement applications for the board approval. Kicking off will be 8A, Aqua Metals, Reno.
And for the record, I'm Nancy McCormick, Senior Vice President, Retention, Expansion, and Workforce for EDAWN. I'm here today representing Aqua Metals Reno, Inc., who is interested in expanding their Northern Nevada operations in order to create the highest quality and yields of recovered minerals from lithium-ion batteries. We were fortunate to have them choose Northern Nevada as the location for their corporate office and pilot facility, and appreciate their interest in expanding their footprint based on the favorable business environment they have experienced thus far while doing business in Nevada. The current plan includes the addition of 39 employees at an average wage of $41.30 per hour, a $17 million investment in equipment, and an additional $17 million investment for land building and improvements. This project is estimated to generate a total economic value of over $392 million over 10 years, with approximately $4.6 million of direct and indirect net new tax revenues during that same period. They are requesting a sales and use tax abatement, a modified business tax abatement, a personal property tax abatement, and a recycling real property tax abatement, and exceed the requirements on all 3 of the statutory requirements. We appreciate their loyalty to Northern Nevada and anticipate that they will play an important role in the emerging EV battery industry in the region and state, and strongly support this application. With us today is their CFO, Judd Merrill, and joining me at the table is Eric West, Vice President of Finance, who can answer any questions that you may have.
All right, do we have any questions of Aqua Metals from any board members?
Governor, it's Ray Speck, if I may, please.
Go ahead, Mr. Speck.
Thank you, Governor. It's great to see a company coming back to us for expansion. It was really interesting reading about the closed loop process and how you make minimal waste. I guess one thing wasn't clear, at least for me, if you could explain a little bit more, is during this process, how much water usage will there be? And my second question is, there will be some actual waste. Can you talk about how much actual waste there will be on an annual and monthly basis, and where will that be disposed to?
Yes, Eric West, Aqua Metals. Yeah, so our annual water usage is in approximately about 3 acre-feet, which is basically part of our building that we purchased in Trick, so we have that as an allotment. Most of our water usage goes up through vapor due to there is some heat generated during the process, so there is water vapor. About 20% of it will actually, either if it meets the specs, it will be disposed of via the tri-grid sewage system, or it will be, if it doesn't meet the specs, it will be disposed of via a environmental group that can dispose of it correctly in accordance with standards.
Did that answer your question, Ray?
The water part did. I guess you mentioned somebody who will pick up the waste. Where will it be disposed, in what state?
So it will either be, like I said, third-party environmental agencies such as we've used Clean Harbors in the past, or Graymar. It depends on the particular specs of it, but likely it'll be disposed of likely here. They have I know that Clean Harbors has a disposal facility here in northern Nevada, because most of it's going to be a sodium sulfate. But it won't meet like a hazardous characteristics where it has to be taken off to like a grassy or some other location.
Was that sufficient, Raymond?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.
Governor Jay Barrett with a question.
Go ahead, Jay.
Thank you. Thank you. I note the very good pay level, the $41 and some change. Could you describe the employment requirements of that position, those positions, and what the sources of the new employees you will be hiring is?
Yes, yeah. So that's a mixture of our high level professionals as well as our operators. But we are going to be on the higher end for our operators because we do have an increased skill level requirement, primarily around chemistry knowledge. So we're looking for some background, some additional education around chemistry. And right now we're working closely with WNC and TMCC to develop programs, to whether that's a direct program for somebody coming directly into the colleges, or as well as upscaling programs in order to work with the additional departments and basically you identify individuals and put them through like an intensive training period, which is 8 to 12 weeks, to help increase their level in order to meet our qualifications. And then the rest of those we do have a high engineering requirement as well as R&D. So we hire all the way from high school degrees all the way to PhDs.
So the 8-week program you described, is that internal?
No, that would be partnering with like WNC or TMCC.
And so the secondary education or NG environment is sufficient for you?
Yes, yeah, we've been working with them and getting a lot of support, and find that we're still working on those pieces. We haven't solidified all that, but we feel that we have sufficient resources that are necessary to happen.
That's great. Good.
Any other questions, Jay?
No, that's it. Thank you, Governor.
Governor. Go ahead, Chris.
For the record, Chris Sewell, Dieter. Have you been also working with our employee NV offices at Dieter for, to backfill some of those? Because we also have programs that do upskilling that don't cost you any money.
Yes, we've been in communication with, I do believe we've been discussing with Dieter with those programs. We're like I said, we're open to all avenues, and we're currently trying to find the, we don't want to single source from one area, right? We want to hedge our risk with that and being able to find as many sources as possible.
Okay, thank you.
So if you can confirm that with Chris
Yes, I will.
afterwards, and then if not, we can help you in that endeavor. So, all right. Any other questions? So this is a possible action. So I will entertain a motion for approval.
Sasha Stevenson, so moved.
We have a second.
Jay Barrett, a second.
All right, we have a motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nay. Hearing none, motion passes. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right, we will close agenda item 8A and move on to 8B, Edgewood Renewables. We have representation.
I believe it's in Southern Nevada, Governor.
We do, Governor. We are just getting set up down here.
Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yes, sir.
Is that you, Mitch?
It is.
Okay.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon, Governor Lombardo, Lieutenant Governor Anthony, Executive Director Burns, and board members. For the record, I'm Mitch Keenan, Vice President of Business Development with the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. I'd like to introduce you today to Edgewood Renewables. Present with me today is their CEO, Steve Harrington, and his business partners are behind me. Edgewood Renewables is requesting the sales and use tax abatement, the modified business tax abatement, and the personal property tax abatement. Edgewood will have a capital investment of over $133 million. They will hire over 60 new employees in their first 24 months of operations at an average wage of $40.71. Edgewood Renewables also offers a comprehensive benefits package to all of their employees. Edgewood Renewables as well meets and exceeds the statutory requirements and has the full support of LVGEA here in Southern Nevada. A little overview. Edgewood plans to establish a biorefinery, manufacturing, and distribution facility in North Las Vegas. The refinery site will produce over 120 million gallons of renewable diesel and sustainable aviation fuel each year. Edgewood's primary focus is on development of large-scale renewable projects to meet the growing demand for low-carbon fuels in the future. I would like now to introduce you to Steve Harrington, CEO of Edgewood, where Steve will explain further detail on the project and answer any questions the board may have. Thank you.
Thanks, Mitch. Good afternoon. I'm Steve Harrington, the CEO of Edgewood Renewables. Thank you to all the board members here today, our partners at LVGEA, the City of North Las Vegas, and the Governor's Office of Economic Development for welcoming us to the state of Nevada. From day one, we have felt a part of the community here and could not be more excited to be locating Edgewood's renewable refinery and terminal in North Las Vegas, Nevada. A special thank you and quick acknowledgement of all the staff and personnel, Melanie, Mitch, and all the others who make these programs possible and help applicants like us navigate the process. Later this year, we will begin construction on our 120 million gallon per year renewable diesel and sustainable aviation fuel refinery. Drop-in fuels produced from waste oils and products that can go in our planes, trains, and trucks tomorrow, and will substantially reduce emissions in both the aviation and logistics industries. We will connect the low carbon fuels produced on site to the existing distribution networks we have access to through the terminal's rail, truck loading, and pipelines. The total estimated project will be an investment of more than $200 million into the site and will create more than 60 full-time, highly skilled jobs for the refinery and terminal's operations at completion. engineers, technicians, operations managers, analysts, and so forth. Ultimately, we chose Nevada because of its highly strategic access to our offtake markets, the burgeoning workforce that is growing here, and our shared desire of its citizens and officials to create opportunity and growth through business and industry, evidenced by this abatement program. Edgewood and our entire team look forward to being a great long-term partner to the state of Nevada and helping it be a leader in the energy transition sector through our renewable fuels production and storage hub. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Sorry.
If you're saying anything, Governor, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm
Thank you.
sorry. Mitch, was that the end of the presentation?
Yes, sir.
All right, do we have any questions of Edgewood Renewables from any board members?
Governor, this Josh Reed down Henderson.
Go ahead, Mr. Reed.
Yeah, I just thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to ask about the source of the waste oils that you're going to be manufacturing here.
Yeah, great question. So we will be sourcing the waste oils from various sources. Some of the inputs could be used cooking oil, which we're talking to consolidators in the Las Vegas Valley. There's also some agricultural and vegetable oils that would be coming in via rail from the Midwest or from other kind of states along the Southeast. So all various different sources.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Chris
Governor-
Sanchez for the record. Mr. Reed asked the question I was going to ask, but also just a comment. As you're starting to build out your facility, the Department of Business and Industry and our Division of Industrial Relations will be one that you'll be interfacing with our engineers as you're standing up that facility. So I'm happy to make introductions early in that process with our administrator, and just welcome to.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We're extremely open to any help and any avenues that the state has that can be helpful for the project, and I want to explore all those.
Mitch, can you facilitate that connection?
Yeah, I was just telling Steve that I can connect him to Chris absolutely after this meeting, and then be that mediator when Steve goes out of town and support Chris as he needs to make those connections. Absolutely.
And go ahead.
This is Yolanda. So in your application, you noted that you looked at other states like Texas, Mississippi, and Louisiana. What were the determining factors to come to Nevada?
For us, we ultimately it was partially all these different kind of benefits of these programs that Nevada offers, and just the proximity to some of our offtake markets was also kind of a key factor. It's wonderful being close to California, but not in California, to be quite honest. And we're very happy to be in the state of Nevada. So this is going to be a long-term project, and I'm looking forward to working with folks like Mitch and the GOED office to kind of not only source workforce that's here now, but help it grow and help create programs that can kind of feed into this into our company and kind of the ancillary companies that will inevitably kind of pop up around it as well.
Great, thank you.
So Mr. Harrington, this is Governor Lombardo for the record. So my understanding, this was a previous renewable facility that failed. I think it was Rise Renewables. Is that correct?
That's correct. We purchased the assets of the previous owner from a bankruptcy process. So there is existing infrastructure at the site, which is another kind of positive consideration. There's already access to the Union Pacific Rail Line. There's access to tanks that are on the property. Our neighbors, Pilot Flying J, which is the largest diesel and renewable diesel mover in the country. And the other neighbor is Baker Commodities, which is one of the larger consolidators of used cooking oils, which is our input product on the West Coast. So a lot of great factors that kind of are at play here, and hopefully can be a beneficial, almost industrial park that we can create in North Las Vegas.
I appreciate that, and thank you for taking on that previous
Thank you.
facility. The only question I had referenced that question, previous question was, I don't know why Rise Renewables failed, but I'm sure you've done your research. And have you identified any business practices that would be better suited for your business versus Rise that would prevent you from failing? I mean, like, did they have not the outreach for different sources for the renewables, or what other factors? Lack of labor?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the previous project kind of got stuck in the construction phase. From my understanding, it was also a very early time in the adoption of these processes and technology. Renewable fuels was a very early concept in 2017, 2018. Where we are in 2024, it's almost like dog years. It's, the industry has advanced tremendously since the project was originally planned. We get the benefit of kind of coming in at a point in time when others have kind of have made the industry more efficient, and so it's unfortunate that the previous project was not able to be successful. Hopefully, as kind of the beneficiary of some of the progress that they made, we can under promise and over deliver at the site here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that explanation.
Certainly.
All right, if there is no further questions, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Governor, this is Ray Speck. Sounds like great synergies with their soon-to-be neighbors. I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
This is Yolanda. I'll second.
All right, we have a motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Hearing none, the motion passes. Congratulations, Mr. Harrington. Welcome
Thank
to the
you. Thanks,
neighborhood.
Governor. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. All right, we will close agenda item 8B and move on to 8C, Hard 8 Nutrition, LLC.
Good afternoon, Governor Lombardo, Lieutenant Governor Anthony, members of the board, and Director Burns. For the record, I'm Bill Arndt, Chief Business Development Officer with LVGEA. It is my great pleasure to introduce Hard 8 Nutrition, LLC, doing business as bulksupplements.com. Bulksupplements.com is a global manufacturer and distributor of nutritional supplement ingredients based in Henderson. Bulk Supplements ships over 8,000 orders daily to a global customer base and has been seeing expansion and growth. The company was founded in 2013 and is expanding operations in Henderson by adding 49 new positions, making an average wage of $30.52, and bringing their total headcount to 155 employees. The expansion includes a capital equipment investment of $7.1 million and a total capital investment of over $8.6 million. LVGEA previously assisted the company in 2019 and learned of the company's expansion through our prior assistance. This application meets and exceeds the expansion requirements set forth by GOED, and it has the full support of the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. With me today is Kevin Baranowski, CEO, as well as Kayla Aldrich, accountant for the company. It's my great pleasure to introduce Kevin Baranowski, CEO, who will provide more insight into the company's expansion plans. Kevin?
Hi, I'm Kevin Baranowski, CEO and founder of bulksupplements.com.
we've been rapidly growing since I started the company a little over 12 years ago. We've started going on Amazon, and from there we've really been focused on global growth. We've been doing really well in the Asian, Middle East, and European markets. Our building right now, we're at 110 capacity. We've leased a couple more warehouses in our same parking lot, and we're looking very excited to move into a 136,000 square foot new manufacturing facility. With that, we'll be hiring 49 positions over the next 2 years. Be chemists, microbiologists, machinery operators, kind of higher end jobs that we have. But we do multiple. We fulfill all our orders. Do all our old warehousing distribution, so it's a multitude of jobs. I've been really focused on providing really good benefits, 401k for our employees. I treat them like family, and programs like this really help us. It really helped us in 2019. With our expansion in our current facility, to get the equipment and everything that we needed. We're able to go to this level now to where, we can, really get the next level where we're trying to achieve. I guess with that, I'd like to thank you for your consideration for our application. And, we look forward to growing in Nevada and Henderson.
Thank you. Mr. Hart, is that it?
Yes, thank you, Governor. We'd be glad to take any questions from the board.
Any questions? Mr. Baranowski and Hart 8?
Governor, this is Yolanda.
Go ahead, Yolanda.
In looking at your application, you do not have either merit increases or COLA adjustments check marked. So was that a mistake, or I'm just wondering if there's an intended wage increases for the employees?
We do reviews every year. We increase. We always keep up with current rates, and honestly, I try to pay better to retain my staff. I do a lot of work to hire the best people, and I want to make sure that they're with me. Like I mentioned earlier too, is we have a very solid benefit program with healthcare and 401k and other stuff too. But yeah, I try to really keep good people and pay them what they're worth.
Thank you.
Chris Sanchez for the record. I just wanted to highlight, because I thought it stood out to me anyway, on the cover page, economic impact output per abatement dollar is over 1,000, but the new total tax per abatement dollar at $19, which is really high. So I think that's worth pointing out. It's pretty substantial return for the state's investment.
Yeah, it's fine. So Mr. Baranowski, Governor Lombardo for the record, and this is for my own personal clarification, but how did you come up with the name Hart 8?
Good question. I actually started in I started on my house, but then I moved to a small little industrial mall. It's like 1,000 square feet. The company next to me was called the Yo 11 Company. So it had a crafts term. And one of my workers I was with is like, hey, we need a cool name, let's call ourselves the Hart 8 Boys. And then it just kind of went from there, Hart 8 Nutrition. I didn't realize it's going to be a big company like it grew into. We do business as bulksupplements.com, but legally we're Hart 8 Nutrition. But that's how it came from a crafts term like that.
Well, obviously you're successful, much more successful than myself, and I just think that's a terrible name for Las Vegas. So I think that's considered a losing hand, isn't it?
Hard to, I think it pays well. Honestly, I'm not a big poker guy mostly, but yeah, like I said, I didn't think it was going to go to a big company and that name would be on everything. So
don't get confused. Don't change your name just because I said anything. So it's obviously working. It's working. So congratulations. So if there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion for approval of Hart 8 Nutrition.
Governor Trace back, I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
This is Yolanda, I'll second.
Thank you, Wanda. We have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Nay. Hearing none, the motion passes. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Governor.
Hey, Mr. Baranowski, just a real quick clarification question. You're expanding on your same footprint in the same complex, is that correct?
Actually, we're down the street a little bit in a brand new Class A building, 137,000 square feet. Our current building, well, it's 20,000. We have the building next door, it's another 20,000, and the building in the same lot, which is another 10. So we're moving from 50,000 to 137,000 square feet. Brand new build out, all production facility, production area, some office space. And, it's really going to be for we're planning our next 10 years of growth.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Governor.
All right, that will close abatement applications, item number 8. And we'll move to agenda item number 9, board member comments. Do we have any comments from any board members?
None here, Governor.
Governor?
Go ahead, Mr. Sewell.
For the record, Chris Sewell, Dieter. About 6-7 months ago, I met with Director Burns for coffee, and he had a program that it's called Leaderverse to get into training entry level and managerial level executives in the hospitality industry, but he didn't have the funding. And Dieter had the funding, and so we'll be doing a press release here probably in the next couple of weeks about that funding and about that training program in conjunction with UNLV. So I think your partnerships between your agencies are working out great, and we're getting things done in the state.
Well, that's fantastic, Chris. Does that mean when Mr. Potts does the unemployment rate, that number's going to change?
Well, that's going to probably be between Mr. Potts and Mr. Schmidt on how that rate changes.
So the goal is to get the wages to go up too.
Yeah.
We are. I mean, today's these applications were fantastic. So appreciate that, Chris. Any other comments? All right, we'll close 9, move to 10. Governor Lombardo's comments. Nothing more than fantastic job. Good work out of GOED. Shari, thank you very much in your presentation today. And it looks like we're going in the right direction. So we'll keep marching on, and these RDAs are doing fantastic. And Mr. Burns, you're doing fantastic. And thank you for being the spokesperson for GOED and what we're trying to achieve. You've done a great job from what I can tell from my position. Thank you, sir. And that will end my comments unless anybody wants to build upon them. If not, we will move to the second opportunity for public comment. And I will read the presentation piece. The preamble: persons wishing to provide public comment remotely may access the meeting by telephone or through the Teams link posted on the agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Public comment will be available at the beginning of the meeting and at the end of the meeting at telephone number 775-321-6111. If you're unable to do it in person, meeting ID number 912-448-395#. Do we have any public comment there at the LVGEA or anywhere in the South?
Governor, I am seeing none.
Any public comment here today in Carson City? Seeing none. Do we have anybody waiting on the phone?
I have no one on the phone, Governor.
All right. Well, thank you for everybody's participation. We'll close public comment and we'll move to adjournment. I will make my own motion. I make a motion to adjourn. I'm allowed to do that for the DAG.
Second that emotion.
There you go. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you, Governor.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Great work.